So let's keep going. Then this is a study done by an independent group of scientists that said, well, Bayer Crop Science, it was called Adventis then, it changed the Adventis was bought by Bayer. Bayer says it's safe, and we say this, and basically it says it will kill aquatic organisms, wild plants, of course, it will kill microorganisms in the soil, but important, it caused deformities in the brain of rats during testing, damage to the central nervous system, etc. Okay? This is the herbicide that is linked to the first GMO rice in the world that will be introduced to save us and feed the hungry millions, hundreds of millions, is actually linked to this very toxic herbicide that poses a serious long-term effect on the health of agriculture. We're nearly close. Okay? And I think I don't need to go into the bigger picture that the most important staple food crop in the world is at risk through contamination and extinction of traditional rice varieties. And I'll end with this. Yeah, there's one more. Sorry about this. There's one more. I have to share this with you. Now, as much as people are very unhappy with the United States and George Bush and US imperialism and so on, there's a myth that somehow standards in the United States are higher for food safety than in our countries. So I want to break down this myth. Because the government will always argue in your country, this is approved in the United States after rigorous testing. The US government allows it for their citizens to eat and their farmers to grow. It means it's safe, and we should accept it. In many countries, and unfortunately countries like Philippines, which are like a colony of the US, this is what the government says. Yes, approved in the US must be safe. The approval in the US is based on a one-page letter. The Liberty-linked GMO rice was approved for human consumption based on a one-page letter the company sent to the US Drug and Food Administration. And the US Drug, and with the little study attached, the US Drug and Food Administration does no testing, no studies, right? There's no health study done by the government. They don't examine any environmental impact. All of the testing and studies are done by the company, and the government says, you confirmed it's safe. So we believe you believe it's safe. And that's all the letter says. And the government will do no independent test. And it actually says, and this was in the year 2000, Bayer Crop Science says the GMO rice is safe because they fed it to chickens for 42 days and nothing happened. That's all that says. For 42 days we fed it to chickens, we fed them our GMO rice, and we fed them normal rice, and they looked the same to us. I don't know if there were chicken interviews, or how they felt. I don't know in what detail, psychological detail, I don't know. But those 42 chickens are the only thing between us and an incredible disaster, human health disaster. Is 42 chickens, is the thin line. What brave chickens, I tell you. Because that was the only study ever done. That was 8 years ago. And now it's being approved for human consumption in the European Union based on this, the famous 42 chickens. We should see what the condition is now. I never checked actually, but for 122, it was for 42 days. Which is, what? It could be 2 chickens. I think it was 117 chickens. 3 died of mysterious, no. It's not 117, but for 42 days. That's the long-term study. The short-term study was they fed it to rats for 3 days. The long-term study is 42 days. One would think that when you buy your GMO rice on the supermarket shelf or it gets into your food supply, you have some idea of living beyond the 42 days. But anyway, go to the next one. And this is this is the final slide. Based on the information the company provided, we have no further questions. Right? That's the point. The United States government had no further questions in the year 2000. 8 years later, contamination has spread around the world to 19 countries. this GMO rice is now out there. It's in our food supply, and there are no further questions at this stage. And I just hope that you have questions at this stage. Thank you.